In the next few months, the United Kingdom is going to face a general election. In many ways, it faces a generational choice. If the Conservatives are returned to office, we will have a Prime Minister, a Foreign Secretary, a Defence Secretary and a Chancellor of the Exchequer, none of whom were in the House of Commons when the Berlin Wall came down. This will be genuinely, in Europe, the first post-Cold War government, and it offers us an opportunity for a change in mindset. I've often thought that politicians didn't quite grasp globalization to the extent that businesses have. We find ourselves with an interdependence in the global economy which has security implications which cannot be avoided. And yet we are dealing with the importation of strategic risk, with political structures designed for the post-World War II environment and military structures still largely orientated towards the bipolarity of the Cold War. We need to take this opportunity to start to change some of the ways in which we think. The first thing, of course, that we will need to deal with is a new threat environment. If we look at the challenges we face, I would place nuclear proliferation at the top. We've already seen what's happened in North Korea. We're seeing at the present time Iran, an increasingly militarized regime headed by a hardline theocrat, pose a unique threat to us as they try to develop nuclear capabilities, which can only be, in my view, for the development of a nuclear weapon. We see the continued threat of transnational terrorism, which requires far greater sharing of intelligence and security measures than we have had before, and we face new threats such as cybersecurity, where the asymmetric threats may provide fundamental challenges to our social cohesion, to our utilities, to our domestic way of life, and to our economic well-being. These are all challenges which require us to think to the threats of the future, not the legacies of the past. As we begin to dismantle our Cold War thinking, we now need to become much more aware of the wider range of threats in many more places and from many more people than we have faced before. Some people say that we're actually facing a much more 19th century power shape in the world of multiple power centers that we have to relearn the diplomatic skills to deal with. Certainly the bipolarity, perhaps the luxury of the Cold War is now behind us, but we should regard this as an opportunity, not just a challenge.